This is Byron Gordon for the SES Conference Channel. It is day 2 at SES New York. We just got out of the social media marketing brand building panel. We're speaking with Hollis. How are you, Hollis?
Great, thank you.
Hollis, you talked about Twitter, and everybody's been tweeting like crazy since day 1. But let's open up with a general question. Why use Twitter for brand building?
Well, Twitter is a great way to communicate with your audience, potential and existing buyers. So what you're doing is you're building relationships. But one of the things that we emphasized today was about how we want people to listen. If you represent the brand, you need to listen and not so much present, not so much push your message out. Sit back, listen, let them engage with you, and then re-engage with them so that they feel like you care.
Let's talk about a success story. You mentioned Whole Foods. Why are they a success story in the way they've used Twitter?
They've just been really informative. I think that the brand has a reputation as it is of doing good in the foods that they carry and customer support and being a quality retailer, and they're reinforcing that with everything that they do. So they're bringing good information to their tweet stream, they're responsive, they're doing good customer service.
Then you mentioned a Twitter horror story. Quickly, what happened there?
Well, Exxon Mobil Corporation had their user handle hijacked because they didn't get quick enough on the draw to register it. And somebody posing as an employee who was responding and kind of being frank and truthful about the things that people were responding to, that was all false. So when it came out and it was made public, what happened was that the brand Exxon Mobil had to admit that, number one, they were not frank and honest, and they didn't have good customer service like that, and number two, that they had been hijacked, and both of those things were not good for the brand.
Final question, if you're a young company and you're new to Twitter, there are a lot of Twitter tools or tools associated with Twitter. Can you highlight some key tools for our viewers who are like, well, what Twitter tool should we start using? What would you recommend?
Some of my favorites are any of the URL shortening tools that allow you deep metrics on your tracking, so you're not just shortening a URL for the purpose of making it into 140 characters stream, but that give you metrics on who's clicking, what they're clicking on, what that subject matter was, where the audience is coming from. Those are all valuable pieces of information. I also like a tool called Hootsuite, which is it allows for URL shortening, but also you can schedule your tweets. So scheduling tweets, I think, is a strategic move. It's not so much in response to somebody, it's when you're posting something direct, and it's good to know when your audience is most dialed in, most likely to listen. And so scheduling a tweet for when they're most likely to listen is a good thing. It's almost like the strategic side of email marketing, knowing when you should be emailing your customer base to get the best results.
Okay, so some Twitter wisdom from Hollis. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you, Byron.
And there's more to come from SES New York, day 2. Stay tuned and keep watching.